All right, so I am live. I'm broadcasting on Clubhouse as well, so I'm going to try to make sure and look down every so often I am not knocking this over like I did yesterday. So today, like this week, I've been posting about reflections for the past year, like things I've learned for this year when it came to like expanding, growing my business, and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to share some tips to maybe help. And of course, I primarily focus on standard operating procedures. I want to focus on that today and why I did the template the way it is. A personal story I'm actually going through right now, and thanks to the template has helped me a whole bunch. And some other things, and how to get started with your SOPs too. So I'm going to be talking about that today. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys can replay, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to hop straight to it. So if you were with me on Monday, and of course if you're watching replays, there's past videos on this, but I was talking about being an introvert, starting the Lazy Millennial, and how I kind of was already doing this in the process. So like when I actually came out with it, it was already something I've been testing and working on, and finally decided to release it to the public. So feel free to catch that, because I'm going to talk about the template. Again, I'm kind of going to reference back to Monday, some of the stuff I was talking about. But yeah, anywho, so with the template, as you know, I said I started doing the template maybe months. Okay, I started Lazy Millennial April 2021. I released the template like in October of 2020 when I was doing like a delegation class. So I was already kind of testing things out and still trying to figure out how to piece things together, what is actually needed for business owners and entrepreneurs. So the Lazy Millennial came afterwards once I kind of figured out, okay, like this is what people need, and I still need to like test it out some more and see like what some of the other people need. But anyway, so today, why you need to prioritize, why can I not talk? Prioritize your personal SOP. So I'm actually going to share like a personal story, what I'm going through right now. So I have a mom's brand. I am actually getting rid of it. So if you heard of Mom Moguls, Mom Boston Charleston, that was my mom's brand. I am actually getting rid of it. I am stepping down. Not even like just stepping down. I am just like removing myself as a whole from it. So this is where the personal SOP template comes in. And then also I'm going to reference why you all should be focusing on this rather than just trying to hire and try to do SOP videos when you're not really ready to do those. Like, yes, we may be ready for hiring, but there's a reason why you might want to hold off on it, but I'll get to that later. So with the personal SOP template, I guess we should talk about the components, huh? So the components I have inside of it is not just like, okay, like this is what I'm going to hire, like this is the kind of stuff they need to do. That is a part of it, but like the personal side, I have everything you probably need with your personal branding. So like the name of your business, like the usual stuff, like you get like the employee handbook and stuff, like what are your hours, like when do you plan to work, what are your services, and then also like I have other parts where like you do your financials, like how much money you're bringing in a month, quarterly, blah, 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 and then have like space for you to break down everything, all that stuff. So like anything you can think of when it comes to your business, like you might need to pull and be able to tell somebody, it's in there. So like you want to make sure you have that done first, and then also you're going to use all that information that you have, like now that you know like your branding, like what kind of like what things you're using for marketing, like your goals, like goal setting of course is also a part of the SOP I have as well. So like you want to make sure you have all that stuff inside there, because again, like your SOP is going to be the I call living breathing person, but it's going to be the big blueprint that you have whenever you pass down your business, whether you sell it, whatever the case may be. This is why you need your SOP, and this is why like this should be prioritized when you're making creating your business or building your business, all that stuff. Even if you don't do like the onboarding, like the team side, the popular side I call it, because a lot of people talk about onboarding and offboarding, all that stuff. That's the popular side of the SOP, but like the personal side is not often talked about, and that's the side we really need to focus on before trying to do like onboarding and all that stuff, like building my team and all that good stuff. So just want to clarify that real quick. So now to the point. Now to the point, y'all. So I'm going to share my story. So right now, like I said, I'm getting rid of my mom's brand. Had I just kind of operate like all willy-nilly like I was in the beginning of the year, and well, not beginning of the year, excuse me, the beginning of my business, like running a business, I'm just going to be upfront. I didn't know anything about running a business. I kind of just jumped in head first. Like, you know, people say, like, just jump in, like, you'll figure it out along the way. Like, I didn't figure it out, but, like, I made a whole bunch of costly mistakes. So, like, I know it's good advice for certain things, but like when you're trying to build like a brand or something, or you're trying to build longevity, like you want to make sure you plan for that stuff. So this is why, again, too, like it's important to kind of at least map out goals that you want. The business plan, definitely make sure you have that kind of mapped out, like a good idea. I know, like it makes it easier because like online, a lot of people are online, so like you want to kind of skip through stuff. Like don't do it. Create a business plan. Even if you have like a virtual business, please create a business plan or goals or have some kind of thing in mind, because when it came to building and scaling all that stuff, I made so many mistakes. But anyway, back to the main point, back to the story. So I am getting rid of my Mom Moguls brand, and I'm gonna be upfront this year because I was so focused on the lazy millennial. I wasn't making much profit on that side. Like honestly, nothing. I wasn't making any profit. Like I made sales, but like it's not profitable. It's not a profitable business because I wasn't really in there, and like it needs somebody that needs to be in there like day in and day out because it is a brand. Like you need someone that's constantly working on it. Like we have to constantly work on our businesses. Like you need somebody that's constantly in there, and it wasn't. So it kind of just sat there and made the occasional sales when I actually was kind of somewhat active with it, but no, it's just sitting there. And I came to the tough decision that like I'm done with it. Like I cannot manage that anymore. It needs attention from someone else. So I was like, I'm selling it. So I spoke to different people and everything, and this is why the personal SOP template, or just having SOPs for my business, was so, like, I lucked out. Like, I'm glad I do this as a business owner, but like just having it in general, this was so helpful. But so of course, talk to brokers and stuff, and because I wasn't active with the business, of course, there's no finance. Like people want to see if your business is profitable, first off. So if you're not making any profit, it's just like, why? Like, what do we have here? Like, I can't make, like, where can I make money off of this? Because I had like my SOPs, and not just like, oh, this is how you onboard clients or this is how you make money, like the actual SOPs, like for the half of the template, where you have like your finances, like what, like the direction you want your business to go in, like the type of goals, like everything you can think of, like running your business. That's why it's in there for the personal side. You don't have to share this with everybody, but like when it comes to selling, it's super helpful. I was able to pinpoint, hey, yeah, I wasn't profitable this year because I wasn't on it, but because like this is what I have set up already, and I can have like SOP videos for you and blah, blah, blah. It worked out, and I actually got higher than what like some of the brokers told me, because I was able to pull up, I wasn't like finances. I just got lucky, but like I was able to pull up the SOPs. I pulled it up. I'm just like, okay, I have this set up. This is like the mission. This is the vision of what I have for the company. Whoever I want to take over, this is what I visualize. Just pretty much anything. I can't remember what I had all on that template right now, but pretty much I just kind of like gave like a list, like, okay, I already had this stuff written down. So when I was able to like be able to tell somebody like, this is what I envision for the vision, and this is the type of person I want to take over for this. This is how much, although it wasn't financially doing well this year, this is what it was doing like years prior. This is why there's a financial part when it comes to doing SOPs. Again, this is not something you have to share with everybody. That's why I call it personal SOPs, but you want to make sure you have your finances kind of laid out, at least written down, jotted down, like how you're bringing in money. Because people want to know that, like, even though you weren't maybe profitable, like again, for like the whole year for me, they still want to see if they will be able to bring in income and like what is needed to get the steps done. And because I had everything written out, down to the marketing, like I showed them like, okay, if you take over this social media, this is the kind of things you're going to have to do. This is what I did. I made mistakes here, so you would probably have to do this, that, and the third. It was worth way more than what I was quoted, just because I had SOPs, I had the vision, I had the goals, I had everything written out. So I'm still going through that process. So just, if y'all already follow that brand, feel free to like keep up with that story. I am not releasing too much just yet because I want to make sure everything's finalized and all that good stuff. But anywho, I just wanted to say that story just because when we think SOPs, like again, we kind of think like the old boring employee textbook. Textbook. It looks like a textbook to me, sorry. The employee handbook, the policy binder, like all that stuff you kind of think with corporate. And like when it comes to entrepreneurship and small business owners like ourselves, yeah, we can have that, but like I like to show our personal side. So that's why like we have to have like the personal side of the SOP done before we try to focus on everything else. So whenever you are doing your personal SOP, anything you think of building your brand, and this is where you kind of jot down notes as well. So this is why when I say don't make the videos, like don't make the ones as if like you're hiring or like, what is it? Yeah, I'll just say hiring. I'll stick with that. So like if you're hiring, you don't have to go rush out, hurry up and do videos like just because you got some kind of process written down. With the personal SOP, like you're supposed to kind of like test it out, write out, jot stuff down, get it out on paper or notebook, whatever you want to use here. Get that stuff out, get it out your head, test it out. Then once everything's been tested and you see yourself using it, I say at least 3 months. I change my mind a lot, so it could be longer for some people. Like at least 3 months. If you can see yourself using a process or something for 3 months or so, go ahead and turn it into like a video. And like with the SOP videos, I always recommend video because you don't know people have different learning styles. So like, and honestly, even with the learning styles, it looks good when people can actually see you, how you're doing the work. So that kind of eliminates the, oh my gosh, I would have to hire somebody. I'm afraid. They don't know what I want. Like, my business is my baby, blah, blah, blah. All the excuses. It's just like, no, just do the video, show them how you want stuff done. And it really is the end of that. Like, there's no secret when it comes to scaling, building a team and stuff. All it is just strong processes, systems, and SOPs. That's all it is. So when it comes to doing them, so now that I ran my mouth a lot, the personal SOP stuff, like making sure, God, I wish I had the template. I should have pulled up the template so I remember what was on there. But anyway, once you have like the personal side SOP, then you can go off to make like the onboarding side. And this is the popular side. Like you see a lot of people advertising like, oh, I can do your SOPs for you. Like I can do that. So like when people you hire people, XYZ. This is the part that people mainly focus on, and that's what you can build once you have the personal SOP done. Your personal SOPs done for your business. Let me say that. Let me clarify that, because you can have personal SOPs for like your household and stuff, but I'm not talking about that today. So once you figure out your goals, your visions, and then like yesterday I talked about the systems and stuff, and I'm just going to reiterate, systems again is not the tools and stuff that you use. Systems is just simply the processes you use to achieve the goals. And if you missed that, feel free to catch that, because that was a whole thing, and I honestly could have went deeper than yesterday how I talked about it, but yeah, I would have kept y'all for a hot minute. So feel free to check that out. I go in more detail about that in that video or live, Clubhouse, whatever. I'm broadcasting 2 different places. That's what I'm looking at a lot, y'all. So anyway, so when it comes to actually doing SOPs, so the personal SOPs, that one's kind of like the one you kind of like jot down, you can kind of erase and move. It's kind of like your planning guide. Like you can kind of keep note of everything that you're doing with the personal SOPs. And that's why you kind of want to start off with that and prioritize doing that. Because you can start doing your personal SOPs in your business as soon as you start. Like when you launch, like you know you want to be on Facebook, put that underneath the marketing portion of the template or the SOP that you create for yourself. You're going to promote on Facebook. Like how often you're going to promote, like what kind of groups, like you can write down the groups that you're targeting with your audience, all that good stuff. Like that's what that personal SOP template is for. And that's why you want to make sure you have that written out. Then you can go off building, and this is what you want to do to scale. But all in all, everything's going to fall off based on what you have in your template. So like if you don't have any visions, if you're not keeping up with finances, if you don't know the breakdowns of your services or products, and you're trying to bring someone else into your business and have them duplicate what you're doing, they're going to duplicate the mess. Well, not mess, but they can't duplicate what's already in your mind. So like you may know how stuff works, but they're not going to know how stuff works. So like if you're not writing it down already in like the template, or at least drafting stuff up, when it comes time to actually hiring, they're not going to know what to do, and it's just going to be a mess. Because trust me, been there, done that, and it was a mess. I do not recommend doing that. So just start off doing this stuff, jotting the stuff down, and when it comes time to making real like SOPs for like onboarding and building a team and all that stuff, then that's where you bring in like the videos, showing how you do stuff. And then like if you're hiring for something that you're not really aware of, like I am not good with design, all that good stuff, I have to hire out for that. I at least have like some kind of vision. I'll look through my goals and like, okay, where exactly am I heading at? Because as y'all can tell, if I don't have something in front of me, I'm not going to remember. I created the template. I don't remember every little detail I had on there because I'm not looking at it. But anyway, so when I pull up everything from my template or the SOP, I can just copy and paste. Like, okay, this is the vision I had, wrote down. This is what's working and all that good stuff. And I can just give it to them. But I think I'm done rambling about that, about the template. So just a brief recap. So we need to prioritize our personal business standard operating procedures just because it is the funnel for pretty much everything when it comes to the popular side of SOPs, when it comes to like employee onboardings, contractors, and all that stuff. So make sure when you're doing your personal SOPs, this can be started at any time in your journey. Make sure you have at least the basics like the mission, vision of your business. Because again, when you hire people, you want people that you want people that aligns with your mission and vision of your business. So like make sure you have that clear. You can always tweak it as you go on, but like whenever you're doing the personal business standard operating procedures, make sure you have the mission and vision clear, and then you can kind of play around like this is like the schedule I have imagined for like yourself and then like with your team. Like how do you want everything to look? Like think about the future when you're kind of like doing this, because again, like I mentioned earlier, when it came to selling my Mom Moguls business, I already had this stuff written down. Like necessarily I wasn't like making anything this year, but because I had everything outlined, how they could make money, how they can do this, where they need to market, all that stuff, it made it so much simple to sell it, because people are like, okay, it wasn't profitable, but like she's showing me, like she already has all the details. She showed me like how it was like in the past and all that stuff. It made it so much simple just because I had my personal business and operating procedures done. But yeah, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I really need to start taking notes when I do these things. I always wing them when I talk, so I forgot all I was going to say. So all in all, long story short, if you have the template, just make sure you fill it out. I've made it pretty easy, like the kind of stuff people are looking for, especially when they're like building their business. If you don't, just to get started with your personal SOPs, just think about everything like in your business. Like again, I said mission, vision, your hours. I would start with like your goals, like where exactly do you see this heading? If you already have like your services or products picked out, like think about the pricing, think about the stuff you need in your personal life, think about the cost in your business life. Like what kind of stuff are you going to need like to fulfill like the goals? I do quarterly goals. I can't do the year because if I look at the year, I get very overwhelmed, and if I miss one little step, I'll get upset. So I don't do yearly planning. I'll do quarterly. So like even now, like this quarter's about to end. I'm focused on January through March. I'm focused on January through March. I don't focus on January through December because that's overwhelming. But anyway, just focus on like the quarters to get started with your personal SOPs. Like, okay, this quarter I want to, if you're launching, I want to get the word out. So how exactly are you about to do that? How are you going to draw people there? Start mapping out that kind of stuff and kind of fill in the blanks. Like underneath the marketing portion of your personal business standard operating procedures. Figure out like what platform you want to be on just to get started. Like Facebook, Instagram is always like popular ones, or LinkedIn. Then you figure out like, okay, now that you have that, how many times you're going to post? Like what times are you going to make for engagement? How often are you going to engage? Little stuff like that you want to kind of like jot down. And then as you keep going, that's where you kind of like start mapping out your process. It's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and promote on Facebook for like the next, I'll just say month, because you can break it out however you want. It's your business. I'm the same for me. I do 3 months, but like it's your business. If you want to plan for like the month, write out the stuff you want for the month. Like, okay, I'm going to do this on Facebook. I'm going to create this freebie. I want to give them a little ticket, or I want to have this low level offer where it can kind of funnel in. How are you going to get that? How are you going to get the people that are not going to be on your email list? Because that's just going to happen. People are not going to always respond to emails. How are you going to keep up with those kind of people? Like things like that. You create processes for that, and then you group them all together. That makes your system. So once you have your system down, then you can start actually documenting them for like your main SOP once they've been up and running for a little bit. So you don't want to get started right off the bat. Okay, so I feel like I've been running my mouth a whole lot on this thing. But so yeah, where am I? So I said personal SOP. So when you're getting started, start out the goal setting. After that, it kind of builds up itself, and like the more you do it, it's just one of those things, like the more you do it, the easier it'll kind of begin. Like when you first start out, I'll say, even for myself, like it took time for me to actually use the thing I created for myself. But like the more you make it a habit, the easier it gets. And then also too, because this is also another but concern some clients have and stuff, like when it comes to like getting contractors and employees to actually use the standard operating procedures that they create, like make sure you're using it. So if you're using it, you're creating a habit already. Like, okay, like I'll answer their question, but like remember, like we have this resource library right here, or you can go here to this app, like whatever it is. Like you want to make sure you create the habit first, so everything at the end of the day starts with you. So that's why it's important to take care of your personal stuff first, and then worry about trying to bring everybody else on, because you don't want to bring people on to chaos and overwhelm and all that stuff just because you didn't take the time out to map out everything you needed. So that is pretty much the whole point of that. And once you have that, I'll probably do another room on like doing the actual standard operating procedures and stuff for like onboarding and stuff, and share some tips on that. But overall, we're going to focus on this personal side. Map out your stuff. Use this part to map out like how you envision your company going, or if you're setting it up to sell, like what kind of person do you want to take over it? Stuff like that. So this is what the personal side is for, and I think that's all I got for y'all today. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Y'all have questions. If y'all are on Clubhouse, I'm not looking down right now, but if y'all on Clubhouse and you want to hang on, ask questions, or give any tips, feel free to do so. Instagram, I will be, y'all just hit me up on the DMs. Y'all know where I'm at. Or y'all can follow me in my Facebook group, Business the Lazy Way, and I'll answer any questions there as well, because we're about to kick off creating some kind of challenge. I haven't decided yet, but there's a challenge coming. I have it coming, but I haven't decided yet. But anyway, so that's coming, of course. What else did I have to say? If you don't have the template, feel free to grab it from PayHip. It's also on AppSumo. You can grab it there. And if you have questions about it, y'all know, just hit me up. And that's all I got for y'all today. And y'all have a great day. I will not be here tomorrow, though. I know I was saying daily. I forgot I already have plans tomorrow. So I will probably do a live, probably like 11 on Friday. I'll make sure I write it down. But I'll make sure that's noted. But in the meantime, y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. And of course, if you need standard operating procedure help for your business, hit up the Lazy Millennial. Y'all have a great day.